Secondly, I want to confess that when Joshua spoke to me about coming here, I first of all wondered whether I have anything to offer anyway, where a leadership discussion is happening. But he insisted and said I could come and say a thing or two. So I will not even read a speech. I will speak very candidly from my heart. First of all, for the organizers of this meeting, thank you very much. Conversations on leadership is something that we need to have, not just in our country, but across the continent. I thank the Lord that I have had an opportunity in the last 7 years to serve my country in the position of a cabinet secretary. During the 7 years, I have also had an opportunity to learn a lot about our country, work with fellow Kenyans, and face tough times and tough decisions. And so I begin by saying this, right from Chinua Achebe, who was quoted here by Joshua Igara, to J.C. Maxwell, to as many authors as you like to bring in. The fact of life is this: human society, in whatever organization, whether it's in small groups, as families, or as society, or as a country, or as a region, we rise and fall depending on the kind of leadership we have. Therefore, for us, not just as Kenyans, but as Africans, this is a good time to talk about leadership. At the beginning of this decade, when in my previous life in the academy we used to debate a lot, President Thabo Mbeki of South Africa came up with the African Renaissance and said Africa is now being reborn and Africa is facing new challenges and going to break new grounds. And everywhere, even international media began to scream that this is Africa's decade. And it was Africa's decade because we have probably the largest conglomeration of talent in the numbers of our young people, huge deposits of resources, and we are endowed in more ways than one and have the capacity to succeed. But unfortunately, I think, and I asked Joshua whether I could speak candidly. He said, yes, I can. Unfortunately, I think we have not effectively addressed the challenges of leadership we face in our continent, in our countries, and in our communities. And if there's anything I've learned the last 7 years I've been in government, is that we could do a lot more than we are doing, if we actually addressed some of the challenges we have in leadership. We have very serious weaknesses in our leadership. Sometimes in our environment or even in our countries, I honestly think we spend too much time on politics, more time than we should. And this hurts the potential that we have to do great things. I do not know who cast us, but I don't know why we sleep and wake up thinking about things that could not move us to the next level, like belongings, where we come from, who we are. And half the time we are lost in debates on pettiness, and we lose sight of the big things that we need to do that could unlock our potential and cause us to succeed. So I will share just about 5 lessons I've learned in the last 7 years as the minister. One, to succeed as leaders, we need to master enough courage. One of my favorite books in scripture is the book of Joshua. And 11 times or more, because that's from the version of the Bible that I read. The Lord kept telling Joshua, be courageous, do not be afraid. Surely God himself would not tell a human being not to be afraid if he didn't think you can actually be afraid. Because you can be afraid. 2 weeks